there is a pretty simple reason why you're not actually making progress in your language, and it's something that I think I can say is a hidden reason just because it's not talked about enough. And it's really, really straightforward, so we'll get straight into it. There we go. I feel like the keyboard never works when I'm making videos, but here's basically the hidden reason, and I call it targeting, but it could be called a number of different things. So if we think about it, we've basically set a goal when it comes to language learning. Your goal could be anything from, I'm going to learn by the end of the year, by the end of next year, I'm going to learn a language in this amount of time, right? But what you're not doing is you're not actually breaking your goal down into smaller pieces, and that ends up with you not actually achieving your goal. So I've drawn a picture here to kind of demonstrate it. Let's pretend for a second that this cake is your yearly goal. So you might say, I'm going to learn Italian in a year. That's represented in this cake. What you're not actually doing is breaking it down into smaller goals. If we think about it, this cake is basically made up of 52 slices, and each of these slices is 1 week's worth of work on that goal. And what actually happens is people set this goal. They say, I'm going to bake this cake. I'm going to do this goal in this time. And what they don't actually do is they don't actually go about it slice by slice. So when a year comes by, they've missed so many weeks in the year that they haven't actually made any progress in the language that they're learning. So what does this all mean? Basically, to make progress in a language, or any goal really, you need to basically be kicking milestones. It doesn't matter if you set one big goal. You need to have smaller goals that actually make up that big goal, and you need to be making progress in it constantly. So the way we do this is with what's called targeting, which is the word I first said in this video. And targeting basically means targeting specific topics or pain points in the language. So it could be counting, it could be grammar rules, etc. We'll go into that in a second. But it essentially means setting small goals within the language and then ticking them off along the way so that they can all add up into one big goal, which is, of course, learning the language. And the interesting thing is, nobody really talks about this, because I think on the internet people are largely obsessed with the idea of like learning a language as quickly as possible, or, you know, worshipping polyglots, etc. They don't actually care about achieving the goal themselves. So that's why this is kind of important to understand. So moving on, how do we actually do this? So first of all, you need to set a long-term goal. If you don't have a cake at all, that's a really weird sentence out of context, but if you don't have a goal at all, you can't really break it down into smaller goals. So set yourself an actual long-term goal. What do you want to do? Which language do you want to learn? Why do you want to learn it? How long do you want it to take? What level do you want to be in the language? I'll just move my head out of the way. Like, for example, conversational in Italian in 1 year. It's doable. It's an ambitious goal depending on how much time you're going to invest. But yeah, that could be your goal. And then you're basically working towards achieving that. And then the second thing you need to do is set a goal for this week. So you've set your long-term goal. Literally just set a goal for this current week. What are you actually going to do this week to make progress towards that goal? And if you think about it, if you set a goal for 1 year, for example, obviously change this depending on how long your goal is. But if you're setting a goal for 1 year, your goal for this week should be 1/52nd of that goal. So this is probably a bit of a wake up for a lot of you, because you might look at what you're doing in a week and go, wow, this is nowhere near 1/52nd of my goal, which is why, of course, you're not going to achieve your goal, because you're not knocking off 1/52nd of it every single week. So make sure you set yourself a goal this week, make sure it's relevant and achievable. If it's not relevant and achievable, then your big goal is also probably not relevant and achievable. An example might be mastering days and months in Italian as an example of a goal. That's more than achievable within a week. And then the third step is to basically set a plan. So now that you have your big goal, your weekly goal, you need to actually set a plan to achieve this small goal and ongoing as well. So for example, your plan might be, I'm going to do this flashcard deck for days and months in Italian, and I'm also going to consume some content about it. I'm going to do this on this day, etc. And then just literally execute on the plan. You've written down the few things you're going to do this week, and then just literally do it. Like, actually go through with what you've written down and said you were going to do. And over time, you just keep doing this and doing this and doing this. You're basically win stacking, you're building confidence, your skill is increasing in the language, and you'll become better over time. It's literally that simple, and you will actually impress yourself with your progress. It really is that simple, and I think it is hidden because people don't talk about it. But yeah, hopefully that does help, and yeah, have a good one. Thank you for watching. Check out my course in the description. I've written a little bit about it there, and have a good one.